believe it or not, I actually grew up and existed for a long time before internet. Very different time. We couldn't get information on all kinds of stuff. Spiritual stuff, not so much. Nowadays, if you want to know something, you just Google it and you're going to find that there are 50,000 different search results giving you answers to your questions. The challenge used to be to get the information, to get the knowledge. Now, interestingly, the challenge is that we have to have a power of discernment strong enough to be able to sort through all of the opinions that are out there to find something that is satisfying to us. So, this is a benefit, all this information, and a problem. Now, in the world of Reiki, it's a problem, in as much as that everybody and their dog is quite happy to share their opinion about all kinds of aspects of energy work. And we don't know, really difficult to understand, how much experience, how much knowledge these people have and where they're getting their information from. So when we live in this world of overwhelm of information, you've got to have a powerful discernment. You've got to trust your own voice. You've got to trust your own instincts and intuition. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to know which is true, which is not true. So I see this as a teacher when I get students that come to me and say, well, I've been to the Reiki 1 course, I've been to the Reiki 2 course with you, and I've learned online that it's not okay to do all kinds of things with Reiki. And I say, oh, okay, so what have you come across? And they say, well, you didn't tell us, but apparently we're not allowed to give people with cancer Reiki. Oh, okay. Or people will say, oh yeah, it's not okay to give people with a donor organ Reiki. And I say, okay. Or it's not okay to give someone with a pacemaker Reiki. So I say, okay, so what do people say? Why can you not do this? They say, well, with cancer, if you give someone with a tumor, if you give them Reiki, it will stimulate the cancer cells to grow even faster, which is not good. I say, well, that's a pretty scary story. Imagine if that was true. So if you have a donor organ, it's going to increase the chance of rejection of that organ. And no one's really explained why that would happen. Now, pacemaker, also dangerous because it's going to interrupt somehow the mechanism of the pacemaker and cause problems. So I think this is interesting, and I understand why this happens. The reason is this: if someone who goes to a Reiki course isn't taught and encouraged and supported to trust their intuition, to trust their internal capacity to discern the truth and to guide themselves, when they come across a fear-based story, they're going to be moved by that. So I spend a lot of time in my courses, especially in the Reiki 1 course, to really encourage people to understand that they have this incredible thing called intuition. And that intuition is so powerful and can be developed to such an extent that they can directly perceive that which is true. So you know this in your own experience, right? There are times when you've resonated with something which is true and you've just recognized it. Oh, that's true. So we have this capacity to discern truth directly. And the practice of Reiki itself is something which empowers us because it increases our intuition, increases our subtle awareness. So it's going to give you the very tools which you need to be able to develop the capacities to perceive truth and recognize truth directly. So let's bust some of these fear-based narratives that I just mentioned. So cancer, well, one aspect of how cancer happens is very interesting. It's about communication. The cell inside certain parts of the body, a cell has lost communication with its environment. Now, as a natural process, a natural mechanism within the body, cells are dying. Cells are self-suiciding. It's called autophagy. Cells will die after a certain time. they've reached their lifespan and then a new cell is created. So it's very natural and normal. Cancer cells exist within our body all the time. It's normal and natural, it's okay. Body takes care of it. Your cells know when their time is up, except sometimes when they've lost communication with their environment and they're not getting the necessary feedback. Then what happens is that they say, oh, I'm the last cell, I'm the last man standing. Therefore, I must go to my emergency backup procedure, and that is this reproduction, this cell replication mode. So when a cell thinks that it's the last cell, it will start to replicate, because it says, oh, I'm the only one here. I got to keep everything going. But it's a damaged cell. It's a cancerous cell. So it's replicating as a damaged cell. It does not operating properly. That's how a tumor is formed. Now, should we not give Reiki in that case? Well, I would say absolutely, because this high cosmic energy that comes into the body is rejuvenating. It's bringing pranic life force to energy centers, to internal organs. It's only promoting health within the body. It's only promoting communication. It's doing the opposite of whatever it was that allowed the body to get sick in the first place. So I would have no hesitance if someone said, hey, I have cancer. Is it okay for you to give me Reiki? I would say yes. I would ask them, how does it feel for you? How does it feel for you, right? And that is my guide, right? My intuition is my guide, because inherently Reiki has no contraindications. But people can be swayed by fear-based stories, especially if they don't have trust in their own capacity. And this is why I love Reiki, because it gives us trust in our own capacities, as long as the teacher has taken the time to explain to students, hey, you're powerful beyond measure, you have incredible capacities, and Reiki is going to help you develop that further and further and further. As long as you practice, of course, it'll take you further and further and further, and you're going to be amazed at your capacity to perceive truth, discern truth, recognize truth when you see it. This is really empowering, because how many systems teach us to put our power externally, right, into the system, into a belief system. Oh, you're part of this system, this group, this path. This is what we believe in this path, so you have to believe this. I say, well, I don't really support that. I support autonomy and sovereignty. The reason that I teach this is because I want to help people come into their autonomy and their sovereignty so that they can perceive truth directly. Reiki is a reconnection with spirit. It's empowering. It's very empowering if it's taught within a context which is big enough, right? If it's taught within a context which supports sovereignty and autonomy, then it's incredibly empowering and will give you a lot. All right, I'm going to step off my soapbox for today. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you.